it's been a really busy morning. Basically, we first heard from the leader of the President's Party, which is called the People Power Party. Now, the leader of that party initially said that the whole party would be opposing this impeachment movement. He hasn't gone so far as to say they'll now vote for the impeachment motion, but he has said that he wants to see the president swiftly suspended. Now, that's for a few reasons. He says he's received information saying that when the martial law was declared, the president ordered the arrest of several prominent politicians, including himself, the leader of the party, also including the opposition leader and the speaker, who's also from the opposition. So he's had an emergency meeting, he's met with the president, and now we're hearing that the president is on his way, and that's why there is this enormous crowd of protesters here. This area was clear only about an hour to 90 minutes ago. So hundreds of people, if not thousands, have gathered here on a Friday afternoon. And considering it's about 4:15 here in Seoul at the moment, I'd say it'll get much, much busier as people knock off work.
And so explain for us exactly where you are.
So we're standing right outside the National Assembly of South Korea, so that's the parliament. This is not the president's office, this is the parliament, so it's reported that he's on his way here to the parliament. However, we are hearing that the speaker has basically told him not to come here because they haven't had enough time basically to organise his safe arrival. But so there's a bit of rumour flying around, to be honest. The other thing that we're hearing today is that there is quite a lot of rumours or accounts that the president might call martial law a second time, which initially, I guess we disregarded as rumour. But the one thing that's kind of interesting about that is that both sides of politics are saying that they're receiving these reports. We actually interviewed a lawmaker from the opposition yesterday, and she told us that she and many of her colleagues have been sleeping at the assembly so that they can quickly go back to the parliament if he calls martial law again.
So is it basically?
Just a bit of a crowd here.
Yeah, no, it's great to have you in amongst it there. We'll keep it going for as long as we can. Is it basically now only a matter of time before Yoon Suk Yeol is effectively sacked?
Well, look, you would think so, wouldn't you? So basically the opposition party, as I said, they said they were going to block this motion. But when you're seeing scenes like this, such pressure from the public, right? Those individual MPs, surely they're hearing from their constituents saying that they want to see the president removed, and the opposition only needs 8 members of the ruling party to get that motion over the line. The vote's happening tomorrow night. So another 24 hours of this. A couple of MPs have already indicated their openness to potentially voting with the motion. So another day of this, you'd think that a few MPs are going to change their mind.
And has Yoon Suk Yeol said much at all in the last 24 hours in defence of what he did, or has he basically been silent?
Look, he's pretty much gone to ground. Interestingly, when this account came out from his own party leader that the president had ordered the arrest of these prominent politicians, he did come out initially denying that, or his office came out denying that, and then they withdrew that denial. So really everyone is waiting to hear from him. They want some kind of explanation. Like, it's truly remarkable that he hasn't said anything or resigned yet. So it will be interesting to see if he does come here today. But going off the record of the last few days, he's a pretty unpredictable fellow.
And Kathleen, what's it been like for you flying into the centre of this political storm in South Korea and witnessing these remarkable events there?
Yeah, look, it is remarkable. That's the word for it. It really was a stunning turn of events on a Tuesday night. When I first saw the news alert come up that martial law had been declared, I, to be frank, thought it was probably fake news. But it ended up being true. It's a really remarkable turn of events. I was actually here in Seoul a couple of weeks ago on holiday, and there were these massive protests going on because Yoon Suk Yeol has been unpopular for a very long time, and he was only elected on a very, very slim margin in the first place. So this is something that's been brewing for a while. Obviously, no one expected it to take quite such a dramatic turn, but it's been pretty incredible to see how people here have organised. During the day it's pretty quiet, it's a pretty normal city, but at night, after people have finished work, they come out, they demonstrate, they're very organised, and we're expecting massive demonstrations tomorrow.
And what are some of the theories as to why he went down that path of declaring martial law?
So, interestingly, he originally said there were anti-government forces, pro-North Korea forces that he was trying to eradicate, but however, it's really ended up being about domestic issues. He's deeply unpopular, as I said. He's been involved in a number of scandals, as has his wife. She's been caught up in a couple of scandals, most interestingly, one where she accepted apparently a designer handbag. So a lot of people here, I guess, hypothesising that he did this sort of to save his wife, protect his own presidency, strangely enough, but certainly to wrest back the control of the government, because he hasn't held the majority his party hasn't held the majority in Parliament, and really the Parliament's been blocking a lot of his agenda. So a dramatic move to try and get back at least a little bit more power in his own government.
And is there any concern about what could happen after he steps down? Is there just going to be chaos, or is it clear who will step into the role?
So the Prime Minister will step into the role regardless of if the President is impeached or resigned. The Prime Minister steps into the role, and then they have to have an election within 60 days to elect a new President. Now, in terms of what happens to the President himself, I guess that's anyone's guess, depending on how various investigations proceed in the future.
Okay, Kathleen Calderwood, thanks for being in amongst it there for us. It looks like it could get pretty interesting there over the coming hours. It's great to have you there on the streets of Seoul.